Welcome to Zionfoodtrucks on a very special day. We really take pride in doing one-off and really cool things, but today is something that might top it. This is obviously a fire truck to food truck conversion. We have done fire trucks before, but they were rescues and that kind of stuff. This is an actual pumper truck. Used to be a FDNY fire truck that we converted to essentially a desert truck. Of course, completely fully functional fire truck with all the sirens and the lights and everything. You need CDL to drive this, of course. Well, we'll come to that in a little bit. This is, well, the back 16 feet has been converted to a food truck. We took out the tank which was here in the back. Used to be 3600 or 3400 gallon tank. Took it out, and then the pump used to be right behind these tiles. Very large pump. Took it out as well, and this was built very much like a a tractor. So the engine was directly coupled to the pump. What we had to do was that we had to build a new drive line from the engine to the rear axle to be able to run this thing, and close about, I don't know, 50,000 little air valves and whatnot. Because we retained the dials and other accoutrements of the pumper truck, and put back the dials. There is nothing behind it. It's just the dials are just for display, just for the cool factor, the wow factor, that is. We of course framed it out. This box that you see here is entirely something that we fabricated, and we try to do it tastefully and beautifully as much as possible. And of course, it needs to last. The fire truck is going to last longer than me, and we want that the food truck portion of it also lasts very long. So it's built as strong as possibly, of course. There is the generator. We try to use the boxes, which are a lot of them. There are tons of boxes in this thing, as much as possible. So that is the generator. Let's go to the other side, which is the business end, so to speak, of this truck. Look how beautiful it is. I was kind of nervous wrapping this in pink as the customer wanted, but turned out quite pretty. Very tasteful, so to speak. And of course, as with all the wraps that we do, the definition is incredible. Again, this side was the other side was the controls. This side had the valves and whatnot. Again, we put that back. There isn't anything behind it. That's how you drain the water. To fill water, you would open one of these boxes, and you can open this as well. I just can't do it with one hand. That's how you fill water. This box is partly enclosing the water tank. Of course, you can see how well protected it is. We want this to last at least 20 years, and it will, God willing. We've of course done really good plumbing. Close this. Inside this is a menu display. Of course, we wanted this to be eye level. That's why it's there. That is, of course, the service window. It's kind of tall, I know, and that's because the box itself is very high. Look at the tires on this thing. So of course, this is very high. So what the customer is doing is, it's going to an RV park in Florida, and they would have a ramp up here so the customers can get their ice cream. They are self-closing windows, of course. like in all our food trucks and trailers. You can actually see, if you look closely, where we did our fabrication. It's aluminum to keep the weight low. Not that that matters in this thing, but yeah. This fire truck, when we bought it, had about 50,000 miles. And if you know anything about fire trucks and fire departments, they take incredible care of their vehicles. This one was, of course, very, very, very beautifully maintained. Let's go inside and see its many features. You would do that through the back. Now it's parked really close to our building, so I have to pause the video and do that. Actually, no, not really. Again, we try to maintain the accoutrements as much as possible. We're gonna go inside. Let's start in the front, because there is a certain flow to this thing. Right here is a 3-compartment sink. You'd notice this is bigger than the 3-compartment sinks that we typically put in. That's because this county requires drain boards on their 3-compartment sinks. Water heater, splash guard, hand wash sink with splash guard, sorry. Towel dispenser, soap dispenser. The entire thing is, of course, stainless steel. Let me go into a little bit more detail about it. Now, food trucks, if you've been in food trucks that are fairly old, there is a certain order to it. And that's because over time, grease and dirt gets between the little crevices and little gaps. So what we do here at Zionfoodtrucks is that every single gap, there is a trim. It's of course very expensive to build it this way. These are custom made trims. What these do is that they seal all the gaps. So never would any dirt or grime or grease get in between there and cause a smell, for that matter. And places where we can't do that, like here, we use caulk to seal them up. I tell our customers that you can smell the difference in about 3 years in a food truck that we built or something that they could buy elsewhere. The floor is aluminum diamond plate, of course sealed as well. The seams are sealed underneath. That is the water tank, the fresh water tank. You saw the grey water tank earlier. Now that little valve over there, that is to drain the water in case of a deep freeze or something like we had a few days ago here in Denver. Every piece of equipment is mounted 6 inches from the floor, so a mop can get in between. And everything is bolted down with washers. This is so things don't shake loose over time. Taller pieces of equipment, we would mount them to the wall as well. And when we do, we would caulk it. Every gap you would see is caulked. There are no gaps, so to speak, except the ones like this one, where you can put in your hand to clean it. Now, about wiring, every single piece of equipment here that you see has its own breaker, and it also has its own outlet. Now all these electrical wiring is, as you can see, is not enclosed inside the walls. In something like this, it would not be such a big deal, but typically in a food truck or food trailer, even for this one, what happens is nobody wraps this in Tyvek or another moisture barrier. Moisture can get it between inside the walls. And if you were to put wiring inside, it would damage the copper. And another thing is that everything has its own breaker. They're all home runs, so to speak. So let's say that this piece of equipment, like the water heater, is going to go out. It wouldn't take out the sandwich prep or any other expensive piece of equipment. Talking about expensive piece of equipment, here is a refrigerator, an under-counter refrigerator, that is. Sandwich prep, 36 inches. an oven, and a chest freezer, and a ice cream fridge. The idea is that they are going to do sort of like Reese's peanut butter cups. They would open this refrigerator, take out the bottom of a Reese's peanut butter cup, which is like a plate-sized Reese's peanut butter cup. Put that here, put in the toppings, put the top on, and then flash in this oven. Load the ice cream and whatever other toppings they want to top, gelato perhaps. This is of course for more ice cream storage, and give it out through this window. And that's the flow of this truck. LED lights, of course, both inside and outside. Yeah, that brings us to the tour of this beautiful Firetruck to food truck conversion. If you have any questions, or if you would like something cool like this built, something that lasts for a very, very, very long time, do contact us at Zionfoodtrucks.com. Thank you and have a nice day.